Hey, Bill in Virginia. And for today, I'm going to do just a little work on the Walthers Freight House that I had sitting here. I'm going to get it painted, weathered, and in a finished state and put it back on the layout. But for the vast majority of the day, I'm going to do a little running. So I'm going to run train from HO scale over to my staging yard that's way over there, and then pick up the action as the basic train hits the end scale layout. So a little bit of run time, a little bit of rail fanning, a little bit of building weathering. So I'm going to make this one a reasonably short one. I'm not going to show much on the Walthers painting. What I am doing is I'm masking off the windows. Like other kits in that industrial area, I built it just to kind of have it sitting on the layout as I was working out track configurations a long time ago, and never finished it. So I'm coming back in, putting painter's tape over windows and doors. And all I'm wanting to do with this really is to protect the acetate windows that are in there, because I can paint the other detail stuff. So I'm going to do that. You know, this roof has a molded in tar paper like texture. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut strips off of this piece of paper. Again, it's colored paper, but it's as thick as a paper sack. I've already got index lines marked on the back of it for cutting. Just to kind of give it a little bit more texture, a little bit more feel that it's been there for a while. The actual painting on the building will go the same as I've done on the others. I'm going to use that dab technique, paint it a reddish color, maybe a little bit redder than some of the other buildings that I've been doing. This also has some interesting brickwork. You can kind of see the column-like line and then cutting across. So I will use different shades to kind of highlight those areas as well, and then concrete shades for around the base and the dock area, and some other stuff for the overhang. So I'm just going to kind of show the next piece, this one much farther along, and then a finished product back on the layout, and then run some trains. So stay tuned. We'll have more coming here in just a second. Well, making some progress. I've got a lot of the detail painting done. Still got to do the windows themselves. Still working my way around the building. Windows I did frost. I used the Tamiya flat clear, sprayed on the inside just to kind of glaze them over a little bit. Got the tar paper roofing cut. I will cut it down into 20, 25, 30 foot sections so that I can have seams on the roof. But making progress. Show a little bit more here in just a minute. Well, the Walthers Freight House is finished. So I just put the last little bit of details on it here a few minutes ago and put it back on the layout. So paint scheme similar to the other buildings in this lot, but a little bit different, just enough to kind of separate it. My lighting's not that good, sorry about that. You can see the docks on the track side coming around. Use like burnt umber, some chalks, some browns, just to kind of get the colors in on the walls. Top, instead of just the formed ridges to make it look like there was roofing, I cut strips and put roofing on it. A lot of strips. Took a little while. Let's look at the other side. All right, so the truck side of the facility. I got the freight back on. Ended up going with sort of a camo green for the doors. Same thing for that little cupola, just kind of put it up on there. Makes it look a little bit different than the Walthers kit. A variety of odds and ends on there. So I think that's good. So I am almost wrapped up with the basics on this side of the layout. Next thing, I'm just gonna work on this for the next video. Get rid of that little bit of foam board. I will finish up a little bit of the scenery just right along the track and that corner of the building. But you know what? Let's run some trains. I've got work for the railroad to do to generate me revenue so that it can head on over to the Alta division and run it through the Appalachian Mountains. One last thing before I run some trains is a lot of you that follow me know I'm impatient, and of course I could not let the last bit of pink foam board stay. So after I finished up the freight house, I came in and I painted this little transfer warehouse and then detailed ground cover around it. So I got rid of the pink foam board. There is none of that left. I finished up detailing around the freight house. Again, added a little bit of clutter off on the track side. Not too much, because I think the freight house folks would clean that one up rather than the old factory complex. So we've got this. This is the truck side of this building. Spinning it around a little bit. There's the track side, a little bit of equipment here. So in this configuration, I can spot a car at this little facility and do switching. When I have the layout switched around where this becomes the middle and the roundhouse is about where I'm standing, it becomes a through track. And in my world, this was a little military building at one point in time. During the World War II era, and it would have probably munitions come in for the local guard. Just my little story for it. So anyway, now I'm going to run some trains, as this, for scenery anyway, is pretty well wrapped up on the HO scale. So let's see what kind of mischief I can get into doing some switching and then running over on the N scale.